What's up guys, Anton here at DPR. If you've ever wondered why you failed at breeding ball pythons, it's probably a problem going on with your males. If you're ready, let's jump right into that. Females are obviously extremely important in order to breed. They're the ones that are going to carry the eggs. They're really the foundation of your whole collection. But the males are really what is going to carry your breeding to other levels. And males are a huge part of that success. And really, often, I feel like we have a perception of the males that they can breed young and they can breed so many females and they always breed. This, when you do have a few years of experience, you realize that this is not the case. And after a few years of breeding, what you really need in your collection is always new males. And not just one or two, you really need a bunch. We're actually often told that buying your females first is the real way to go, but I feel that if you have an opportunity to buy your male at the same time as your female, it's gonna give that animal, the male, more time to just be sexually matured. I have a lot of males that they're a year old or something, and they're just not breeding yet. They have the good size, but maybe they're just not interesting yet, or the hemipenises are still a little small, or the sperm plugs are not, developed completely. These are just things that will happen to a lot of males. Some males do breed at, 9 months old, and they're a big beast of a male, and they can do a lot of females. That happens. But there's also that scenario where your male is just not going to be ready at the time you want him to be ready. So let's say you buy a female this year and you tell yourself that, oh, I can wait another year to buy my male. I'm going to buy a better one. And then your female is, great shape at 3 years old. Your male is 1 year old, and realistically, it's not really eating well. It's not, it's not at a breeding point in its life. You're gonna have a female that you're gonna have to find another male or just skip a year. And this is really not a thing you want. Following that line of idea, I think that for any project you have, I think it's a really good approach to take when you have 2 to 3 males or even 4 males for each and every single project. Let's say you have a very specific red stripe, yellow belly, lace clown. That's a project that I'm working on right now. And you have, one male, a good breeder, and you run with that male, and this is your male for 6 females. But let's say this year, this male either doesn't breed or doesn't eat very well or actually dies for any reason. Now you're stuck with no males and a bunch of females that were supposed to go to that one, and that means that all those 6 girls will have to go to another male or split through your collection of males, and this is just increasing the workload for other animals. Having a male, let's say you have that red stripe, yellow belly, lace clown type of project, and you have one male that's a visual packed, another one that's a het, and just another one that has, let's say, a pus set or something like that. Then if your number 1 male doesn't breed, you can always rely on the second one. And if there's something, you can always rely on the third one. It's the same thing as, let's say in hockey, whenever you have a game, you have a goalie in front of the net and you have a goalie on the bench, and there's always another goalie that they can call up whenever and that they can throw on the ice and play. This is basically the exact same principle. You want to have backups in order that if your number 1 fails, you have others. And this is also leading me to another point, which is know when to stop breeding your males. Some males will actually eat for the entire year. They're just phenomenal breeders. These are great. But some of the other males that you're gonna see, some of them are gonna start breeding, they're gonna stop eating, and then it's a matter of when to stop breeding them, because it can get dangerous to a certain point when your male doesn't eat and keeps on breeding. It's really gonna use all of its fat reserve and its vital energy in order to produce sperm and breed the females. So you gotta be able to know when to say, okay, now that's the end of it. Even though you have females left for you, you're not breeding anymore. You take some rest, get a few meals in, and we're gonna try again in a couple months. This is a really important thing to learn when to do that. And the best tip is just go with your gut feeling. If your male looks skinny and thin, even though he still breeds, might be a good idea just to stop. A really good thing also is to know not to overload your males. I'm going to show you an example here. This is a male. It's still a male. He's actually just a year old, so it's a very young male. This is my vanilla leopard desert ghost clown. Amazing, powerful male, and I would be tempted, definitely, I am tempted to throw this male to 15, 20 different females, because obviously this animal is stacked and anything that goes with him would happen to be a killer clutch. But really, in the end, I don't want to overload this male, and especially that it is its first year, I don't want to put him to too many females. So having an ultrasound is definitely a really good thing, because you can go and check where your females actually are. My system here is basically, I'm writing down the size of the follicle with the month, and I'm doing that throughout the entire year. So if you look at previous videos, you're gonna see like some of the bins are completely covered with those yellow stickers, and I know when to actually put a male in with the female. So that way, using an ultrasound, I'll know when the perfect timing is. If the female is not developing anything, I might not want to waste this male time and throw him to a bunch of female for nothing, just for stimulation right now. Eventually, it might be a good idea to get yourself an ultrasound, mostly for those reasons. Sometimes just that little thing, that ultrasound that's going to cost you a couple $1,000s, can actually make a male go from 6 to 8 females in a year, just because you're going to have them very well rested. Another thing is that you don't necessarily want to assume that a young male can breed. I know I just talked about this, but let's go a bit more in depth with that. This male here is a yellow belly triple het something something something. I'm not telling you right now what it is, but this male, I really thought that he would be ready this season. He was eating well. He has actually aged. He's a bit more than a year old now, but he is completely not interested by any females. I had a really good lineup for him, but you know, in the end, it's really him that's gonna dictate how it's gonna go. He's sexually mature. He has great hemipenises. He's producing sperm plugs, but he's just not locking with the females. So this is my only male for that project, and unfortunately enough, I might have to go another direction, which completely is, you know, not the best scenario. But because I only have that male and he's still young, this is something that you have to keep in mind. It's not because you buy the male and it's a year old and it's eating and it's great that it's just gonna breed. These are live animals, and we unfortunately can't dictate what they will always do. So this big boy here, this is a cinnamon red striped yellow belly clown. I've had him for 3 breeding seasons now, and he is an extremely good breeder, very reliable. As you can see, he's almost the size of a breeder female. Really good male. The thing is, you don't want to flip your males too quickly in your collection. This male this year, he's not going to be used with a lot of females, but he's now becoming a backup male. He used to be a powerhouse, and now he's more of a backup male. And the thing is that you don't want to flip those males too early. This one is really reliable. I know that in a season, if ever I have a female and I throw this male in, he's most likely going to lock, and I can count on him. If I was to just sell that male because I have a better combo growing, or I have a younger male that is just more stacked than him, I might run into the possibility of what we just talked about, that your younger male might not be ready for breeding. So whenever you have a male that you're thinking, oh, I have a better version, you might just want to keep that one just in case. And even for a younger male, it might be better to split all those females. You want to do 6, let's do 3 females to one and 3 other females to another one. So flipping your males, don't do that too early. Another thing that's actually really important is the holdback males that you're going to keep throughout your seasons. This year, I really wanted to keep just way more males than I did in the past. And for example, these 2 males, they were for sale for a long time. And I actually ended up deciding to keep both of those males. So there's a Spot Nose Fire Lace Het Clown and a Spot Nose Fire Special Het Clown. So I think that both of them are just going to be really good backup males, in order that, you know, in a scenario that one of the males that I have planned for some females just doesn't go, or I could just throw one of those males to a yellow belly het clown or a visual clown female and still have some killer clutches. If you approach your holdback strategy by just holding back a lot of good males that are not necessarily the ones that you wanted to hit, but males that definitely could do a lot of work, I think that this is a strategy that could really save you in the long run. So that's another little tip. But other than that, guys, I really hope that this video was really helpful to you. I feel like we're really just catching up on the importance of males in your collection. There's a lot of big breeders right now that are talking about this, and males are just crucial for your collection. Don't overlook this aspect. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, check our Morph Market, and we have plenty of other videos to check out. And on this, we'll see you in other videos.